Yo, my name is Adeja Adeboali, and it's the best sporting show in the whole of universe. It's still news, instant sport, and of course, Band Radio Scope on our YouTube channel, on Twitch, on Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. I have the game back with me, thankfully enough. Everybody left me to myself last weekend, especially the bearless Oracle Kachi, but he's back now with a little bit of bear. Of course, much appreciation to Sheyi as well. He's back with us. You know something. The truth about it is, we can't discuss. I can't discuss NFL without Kachi successfully. I can't discuss anything
Discuss
about
boxing
boxing
without
successfully
Sheyi.
without Sheyi. Any other thing, maybe I have enough knowledge, but without these guys, those two sports they are nowhere to be found on this show. So I really appreciate you guys for joining back again. You guys want to introduce yourself to the audience at home. Sheyi, you go first.
Hello, everyone, and I'd like to say Happy New Year to every sport fans around the world. You're welcome to the show for today. What a fantastic week, and I also say a fantastic last 2 weeks. A resurgence, we can say resurgence in post Cristiano Ronaldo. Is yet to give that a blessing or there will be probably future blip in the team. But I think it seems to be a blessing. Welcome, everyone.
All right, perfect. Kachi.
Sports fans, just to echo what Sheya said, let me start by wishing you all a very happy new year. I'm very, very optimistic that this year, both individually and collectively as a show, we'll go to newer heights and we'll blaze more trail. The year started with a bang as well, obviously. Chelsea cannot even defeat the Manchester City side without their major stars. I don't know if this is a signal of the end for Graham Potter. The project never took off. Graham Potter's Chelsea is beginning to look like Steve Nash's Brooklyn Nets right now. And also to say a belated happy birthday to the King, LeBron James, who put on a virtuoso performance to celebrate his 38th birthday. And another happy birthday to Sir Lewis Hamilton, who also turned 38 over the weekend. Stay tuned for a great one.
All right, perfect. Sounds sad, anyways. You mentioned 38 now across board. Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be 38 as well next month. Just goes to show you we are going to a new phase of different sports. But I'm going to be starting with just good news to start with from a good front. Helen, the NFL player, is back now. Not fully, but at least his senses are back. He can move his limbs now and full couple of recognition. Don't forget that he got this concussion, I think sometime 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken.
On Monday actually.
Monday, yeah. A week now. So, but he's back. At least he's not dead, thankfully enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Muslim will say, Alhamdulillah, and the Christians will say, glory be to God. So we are happy that he's back right now, at least. To not to the best function, but to a different dangerous one. And Sheyi, I'm going to come to you straight up on this one. Dr. Davies versus Hector Garcia. I watched part of the match or part of the bouts, and I could hear the commentator saying Hector at the point, Garcia at the point, did not even know where he was before the call for the technical knockout came from the referee. Do you want to fill us in exactly what happened on this one?
Yeah. Well, what a night for Gervonta Davis. He has started this new year with a bang again. You can say this guy is like the biggest, the deadliest boxer. But, he is unbeaten. He has a knockout record of like 20 thereabouts now.
Wow.
I think only like 2 bouts really he has not knocked anyone out. That's like 90, probably like a 95% 95% knockout record.
Great. Wow.
Guy is dangerous. And on the night, I feel Hector Garcia actually did well because he was quite patient. First 2-3 rounds, picked the fight up quite well. Brought it to David in the fourth round. Really, give good account of himself until the seventh and eighth round. Like you said, I think there was a terrible left hook that landed on Hector Garcia
Mm-hmm.
eighth round, and at the end, of course, for us watching, it seems guy still okay, but still he continued, boxing until the bell. At that point, the ref had to remind him that okay, this is the end of this round. You have to go to your corner. So at that point, you know that is actually a problem there. So big thumbs up for his corner actually to make it not go back to back. If you recall Joshua's bout with I think that should be the Ruiz, the very first one when he lost the title. It was actually after the interview, he also mentioned that from the third round that he received that particular, knockdown, he cannot actually count since that time to the end of the bout. He had a concussion, and I feel for the love of the guys that do it, I think it's about time for boxing to also look into this aspect also, so that they can take the necessary precautions. For Hector Garcia, we really thank God that the corner did what they're supposed to
You
do.
do, yeah.
Right? Imagine a big star like Anthony Joshua actually had to be, evacuated from the ring.
Yeah.
What this says about the sport boxing. So for me, I think it was a good one for Davis on the night, setting up a new fight with Ryan Garcia probably in April.
In
But
April. Yeah.
also good one for boxing because Hector Garcia's corner did what they're supposed to do to call the fight.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Kachi. I'm going to call for your juggernaut straight away. You congratulated the king, the best player in the history of the NBA, the face of the league, the guy that you argued a couple of weeks ago is no longer the
Top
first
10.
top 10 player in the NBA. But he actually proved you wrong. He proved you wrong. I know you're not going to argue about that again right now. Dropping 47 points on the 38th birthday. And like I said pre-show, I said there was a particular post I saw on Facebook. They said he carried his team at 23, at 25, at 26, at 28, at 35. Now in his team, he's still the best at 38 years old. LeBron dropping 30 points consistently. According to the post that he said to me yesterday, he has dropped 640 30 points
Point
plus
games.
since he came into the NBA. It's primed to be the highest goal scorer in the history of the NBA, top 3 in terms of assists, top 10 in terms of 3-pointers, which we knew was not good at the start of his career. I can go on and on and on and analogize LeBron, but Kachi, my question is, at this point, we should be studying LeBron James, honestly.
Absolutely. I came across a clip which I believe we also put up on our social media page of different coaches, some of whom are now analysts of the game in Stan Van Gundy, Mike Williams and the likes, talking about LeBron and his impact. I also watched an interview he provided to ESPN, where he was specifically asked, what has made you great for so long? And he said something that resonated with me that I am also taking, and I want to use that for my life as well. LeBron said for him, the single biggest factor has been trying to get better in areas he knew or he knows he had weaknesses in. That he remember when he came, he couldn't play post up. He couldn't post up the center and play in the paint. He knew when his mid-range shooting was weak. He knew when his three-point shooting was weak. And he has worked to improve on this. And it's amazing when you look at this, LeBron has always been a pass-first person. Scoring was never, you couldn't define LeBron as a scorer. He wasn't a pure scorer. He was just a game facilitator. And even though we are waiting, he's less than 450 points from overtaking Kareem. And I saw, and as a side note, during in preparing in the warm-up for the game against the Sacramento Kings, LeBron was attempting the sky hook, which we know Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was famous for. And in fact, his statue in front of the Oracles, the LA Lakers Center, is the famous sky hook. How poetic will it be if on the day LeBron finally overtakes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he does it with a sky hook?
That would be nice.
It will be poetic justice. But big kudos to LeBron. I could go on and on and on. I've told you I'm a big LeBron fan, and for him, and I want to say this before I stop, before I even lose track of what you have asked me. I sincerely believe that LeBron's closest competition in his era is Kevin Durant.
Of course, 100%. 100%.
However, to let you know how great LeBron is, Kevin Durant, even with his own super team of James Harden and Russell, could not beat LeBron. He had to go team up with a 73-win Golden State Warriors to be able to overcome the LeBron hump. And even in making the changes LeBron has made, has still struggled to replicate that kind of effort. So big kudos to LeBron. I pray God keeps us all alive. When LeBron is 25 points remaining to overtake Kareem, we are going to let the whole world know to tune in on that day and watch greatness
happen. Yeah.
God will keep us alive. We will watch it. I can't wait to see the amount of ovation he will get. And maybe, just maybe, that would quieten the whole noise about who is the greatest. I know I just said everything that is music to your ears right now.
Honestly, I feel to me, personally, for me, I don't think it's a conversation. Honestly, it's a conversation. It's not about rings. If it was about rings, people come up with that ring argument. He has 6 rings, he has 4 rings, 10 straight NBA finals. It's no mythic, it's no joke. And like Draymond killed the argument. You don't play against the best assembled basketball team in NBA history. Come across them. He actually did beat them. And you know the funniest thing? It was 3-1 down before he beat them. That had never been done in the history of NBA.
There's only one anomaly, and LeBron was the anomaly. I want to add something else. It says a lot when coaches that you played against, give you this amount of praises.
Yeah.
But when players who the whole world openly call your staunch rival, arch enemies, arch nemesis in the big 3 of the Celtics, 2 out of the Celtics big 3, who did not play with it, because the other person of the big 3, Rajon Rondo, won a ring with LeBron, so he doesn't say anything. The other one, Ray Allen, won a ring with LeBron. But 2 out of these big 4, not even big 3, Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, who we know never say anything nice about LeBron. I saw their tweets. Paul Pierce ending it with #GOAT swear word. Let me know if they can say that. I think that argument should be over by
the,
now.
the, the argument the
I
argument
think
is
the
over.
argument should be over by
The
now.
argument is over, my brother. Honestly, that's the way I think. And just for people to know, I was never a LeBron fan until I studied LeBron, and yo, you got to bow to greatness, and that's the real fact. Kashi, to a not so interesting one is the fact that LeBron has come out to say, yo, I don't want to end my career this way. I'm not about breaking the record of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Mhm.
I want to go down. And last season he said so. He said, I want this to be the last time I'm not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And honestly, without AD, I don't see anything that these LA Lakers can do. There's little to what LeBron can do all by himself at 38 years old. We have to be sincere with ourselves, And like I said, Ross was bad 2-3 months ago. The Ross of today is dropping triple doubles like he used to. Again, maybe someone will look at him, and all the Lakers need right now is just a shooter. That's all they needed, a shooter. They don't need a ball dominant player. Dennis Schroeder is doing well from the playmaking role. LeBron is facilitating things. Thomas Bryant is doing what he can do. Bravis or whatever his name. I forgot.
Austin Reeves is still getting one or two things in.
Exactly. So it's not like they don't need something big right now. They don't need something anymore. They just needed a shooter in the team. What do you think the Lakers can do right now to fix this? Because and like I said, pre-production call is the fact that if LeBron requests for a trade, if he leaves, it's a problem for the Lakers. If he requests for a trade and eventually stays, it's still going to be a problem, a divisive element within the franchise. So why don't they try to do something right now? Maybe someone who is a free agent, trade out Ross Westbrook, look for something, anything, just at least get to the play-ins. That's the least that you can ask of Lakers right now.
Adubale, I have to be honest, and I know that during our production call I said this, and I want our listeners to know that if not for the championship won in 2019-2020 in Orlando, we can categorically call Rob Pelinka's tenure as the GM of the Lakers a bust. He has made terrible free agency decisions. He has made trade decisions that have been heavily questionable. The fact that the Lakers right now are in a position where they cannot enter into any trade negotiation with the upper hand is because of the trade and what he gave up for the Anthony Davis transfer. The Lakers right now only have one first-round pick for the next 4 to 5 years, simply because of that trade to Anthony Davis, who we know, it's not as if this injury we are seeing in the Lakers only started happening with the Lakers. AD has always been, he probably is dating a nurse or a doctor. Let's just be very honest with ourselves. And he's been giving himself every excuse to go and see his beloved girlfriend or wife, whoever she is. And that's just on a lighter note. Right now, the long and short of the Lakers' malaise is that they need a shooter. However, the Lakers are not in a position, because we know LeBron James has always been very passive-aggressive. He will pass his message across without, it's left for you to know what he's saying.
Get the message.
And we know that what LeBron is basically saying is that right now, the GM is not putting me in a position to succeed. And a lot of people have come out to say, if you knew this, why did you sign your last contract with the Lakers? Because signing you to a 3-year, $41 million per year contract means that the Lakers are stretched thin with cap space. So they can't even get anyone in until they get a marquee signing. And they only have 3 marquee signings. It is LeBron, it is AD, it is Ross. Those 3 alone account for $125 million of the Lakers cap per year. The challenge is, Ross has accepted his sixth man
6 months,
role
bro.
and is thriving in it. LeBron, right now at 38, is still putting the franchise on his shoulder. That leaves you with one person. It is hard for you, everybody, to hear this. It is very unlikely. People are like, why do you always say this? But the only person that they can take into a trade negotiation right now, in my own
Zaydi.
opinion, is Anthony Davis. As improbable as it sounds, is probably the only one right now. LeBron will not
Wow.
LeBron will not go to a team that is rebuilding. Age, because of age, number one. Number
Uh-huh.
two, because of his win now mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Westbrook is ring chasing. And right now, he knows that he has burnt a lot of bridges in Washington, in Houston, in Oklahoma.
No plan.
So, how many, even the teams we thought were struggling and would probably take him for retirement in
Yeah.
Sacramento, in Utah, are competing right now. So, they would not look to disrupt the apple cart. The only person that you can trade right now that can go to a rebuilding franchise and suddenly make them compete while he's healthy is Anthony Davis. So for me, if they need a shooter, if they want to have that conversation, they should pick up the phone, call the Chicago Bulls, offer them Anthony Davis, and get Zach LaVine and one other person. I know it's improbable, but that's the only way it will happen.
Or they can call Toronto Raptors too.
For who? Van Vliet?
Van Vliet.
Van Vliet is on a slump right now. Van Vliet is on a slump. The only even their young rookie, the guy who won Rookie of the Year last year, Scotty Barnes, is on a slump right now.
That one can't even leave.
The only person playing at an all-star level at the Raptors is a two-way guard, OG Anunoby. Because Pascal is struggling, Van Vliet is struggling, Trent is also struggling. That is why the Raptors are the sixth worst team right now in the NBA. So I don't think that's where you would look to solve your problem. You need to look to a franchise that is ticking and ticking well. Obviously, New Orleans will not do business with you. They own your first round pick for next year.
Of course.
It is only for them to look eastward and speak to Chicago right now, if anything will happen.
Wow. Yeah. That says it all. But on the flip side, if AD can get himself fit, we will not even be having this conversation.
If it has always been an if.
Yeah, that's just a problem. Is a giraffe. I don't know. I hope Wembanyama does not end up like AD and Joe Embiid, play 6 games, go on another 6 games layoff. Anyways, that's what's about it for NBA right now. We'll be jumping straight into a sad one again. Gianluca Vialli, the former Chelsea Italian international, died after that bad struggle with cancer. We our condolences to the family of Vialli, to Chelsea, to Inter Milan. I think he played in Fiorentina as well, Juventus, and every other club that he has played. Sampdoria formed a very wonderful partnership with the current coach of Italy, Roberto Mancini, back at Sampdoria as well. Our condolences goes to the family and of course all the teams that he played on. Wonderful memory we had of him scoring at the Italian 90. Came to Chelsea, performed well for them before he became a player coach as well. At Chelsea, it's a sad one, and that's where we are starting off from today. But Sheya, I'm going to come to you on a lighter note, and this is a two-way street. People have argued for and against this. Vincent Abubakar's contract at Al Nassr has been terminated, and this boils down to the fact that they say they cannot have more than 8 foreign players at the same time on their roster, and because they have arguably the best one of the best players, or should I say the best player of his generation, in Cristiano Ronaldo, moving to Al Nassr, depending on what side of the fence you are sitting on. So if Ronaldo, even at 38, is coming, we're talking about the best player of his generation. I'm still going to sacrifice Vincent Abaka or whatnot. And there's a for and against. People have said, okay, it's because he's an African, and that's my opinion as well. Why does it have to be the one that is going to be sacrificed? They have so many Brazilians, like people like Luis Gustavo that have played their best years ago. He's not a 28-year-old guy compared to Vincent Abaka. Maybe Abaka lied about his age, but that's not for question. At least on paper, he's 28 years old, right? So we can we have to be a little bit factual. On paper, he's 28 years old, right? So I would gladly leave Luis Gustavo terminate his contract. But someone was arguing with me and saying they could leave him. I said there's a difference between releasing someone and terminating someone's contract, right? It's like you getting the sack at work. And another people have come from another side of another point that Ronaldo is coming as a striker. Vincent Abaka is a striker as well. So it's life or life goal, right? I won't want to deplete my midfield and stack up the attackers when I have Ronaldo that is inside the Arabian League. Truth be told, Ronaldo could be guaranteed as much as 40, 50 goals in a season in all competition. Ronaldo is still the best striker of the ball. The only reason why Ronaldo is in this ship is because he did not go for preseason. And that's my opinion. I start to be corrected, and that's why I feel. But Sheyi, I want to sample your opinion on that
one. Okay. I think the situation with Vincent Abubakar and Cristiano Ronaldo basically on the. I want to believe the footballing reason, and I tend to reason with the fact that Vincent is a striker and Cristiano Ronaldo is a striker. Ronaldo is going to get more goals than Vincent, I believe so. He also brings a lot in the league, not just for play with for what he brings greater than what we are talking about.
Vincent would bring, yes.
So I think sacrifice Vincent is just the easy thing for Hannes to do. Of course, you have to put the footballing reasons also. With the striker, Ronaldo coming in to come and position, which directly makes Vincent actually not play. Like that. The reason why Ronaldo is because it was not in game. Unless Ronaldo, then Vincent can have his way. So for me, I think if Vincent has his contract cut off and he's being go and find another club, it's just better move to another club that will probably need and appreciate your skill and your professionalism. At the moment, he's not going to play any football. He is going to stay on the bench until Ronaldo is injured or they need to rest Ronaldo. But guess what? The Arabian League, Ronaldo cannot rest. Let's just let's see it the way it is. I think it's a better decision for Al-Nassr and
Vincent Abubakar himself.
Yes.
Okay, so I should not get emotional about it.
Yeah, please don't.
Okay, I'll try not to. Kachi, I don't know if you agree with.
I totally do. I don't think there is any controversy about it. This is purely footballing and commercial reasons. I don't think there's anything race related. I mean, within 1 week, it's only been a week since he was announced. Al-Nassr's Instagram followership went from less than 1 million to 10 million. The amount of jerseys they've sold has also skyrocketed. The amount of media attention they are getting now.
Ronaldo is news. So,
if it was you as a club owner, it needs to make a profit. Would you? It's not because
I will sacrifice Luis Gustavo.
No. It's not Gustavo. And this is the other thing is because of Ronaldo's signing.
Uh-huh.
Now, the likes of Sergio Ramos, the likes of N'Golo Kante, the likes of Luka Modric have been touted to also be interested in joining
with their eight foreign players. Wow.
So I'm just letting you know the kind of players that would Ronaldo will
100%.
still draw players to come.
100%.
It's going to make out. Let's not forget that the Asian Champions League, the AFC, is one of the toughest championship to win as well. So beyond the he's playing in Saudi, they will be competing in that Champions League. So there is added motivation for Ronaldo, for the club to make that transfer. So because if we want to look at it, race, I don't think so. Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't know if he claims to be a Christian or not, but we know Vincent Abubakar to be a practicing Muslim working in a Muslim country. I sincerely believe that if they put everything, that factor alone would have made them to say, okay, this guy is not going to come here and contravene our religious laws. There's a higher chance that Ronaldo will contravene those laws than Vincent Abubakar will. So I think they thought they put all this into consideration.
He already did, and they have to circumvent that law.
Exactly. He's living with a woman he's not married to.
Yeah, but realistically, Kachi, I'm not putting this at the feet of Ronaldo. I'm putting this at the feet of the club itself.
The club.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to tell you that the club did not do this based on race. The club knows they are going to get 3 times the number of goals Vincent has given them.
Yeah.
They are already reaping the economic benefit of this, such that by the time Ronaldo's 3-year contract is over, that 75 million euros or pounds a year deal will become just a drop in the ocean based on what they will get. I think it makes total sense. It makes total sense to me.
Yeah, actually, you already convinced me. Now you further convinced me. I don't think it's about this again. But I would still have preferred my African, but I'm not the one being the sacrificial lamb anyways. And that's what I feel. It's my opinion. I stand to be corrected. I agree with you guys, but I would just prefer Abubakar stayed back.
He will get a club in Saudi. Just
no, it's not. It's coming to Manchester United. and that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going next. So that we thought that Abubakar might be moving to Manchester United. So it's going to be a three-way thing. You know how this works. Whatever news you see on offside, caught offside, don't believe it. But when you see on a more valuable site, probably you could lay a little bit of credence to it. This was quoted according to the Sun. Was Weghorst as well, the Dutch footballer of Burnley, that now plays at Besiktas, has been touted to move to Manchester United as well. They've been crying for a striker. Wood Weghorst has played 16 games in the Super League, 8 goals, 4 assists, 2 yellow cards so far this season. Vincent Abubakar as well has scored about 9 to 10 goals in the Saudi Arabian League before he went to the World Cup, where he claimed he scored about 3 goals, if I'm not mistaken, at the World Cup, including that wonder goal against the Serbians. So basically, if you look at it, United are clamoring for a striker, and either of these two guys will be a short fix for just 6 months. And the trajectory of United right now, and most people are not seeing it, has been upward. And this is not to say I'm a supporter of United, but United could be challenging for the Premier League as it stands today. Before the game between Chelsea and Man City, City was leading United with just 1 point. So that just goes to show you that things could change within 3-4 games. And if they get a quality goal scorer, and I know most United fans have been against Antonio Martial, that they don't want movement, they want a striker that bury goals. Vincent Abubakar could be that one, could be that guy for them. For people that don't know, this guy was a top-notch goal scorer while he was at Porto. Weghorst was a very good striker as well while he was with at the German league. Before the little dry spell that he had with Burnley, he was at Burnley for just 6 months before he moved to Besiktas. He's banging goals at Besiktas as well. Two things: are they going to be the right fit for United? That's the number one question. It's one thing getting the striker. It's another thing the striker being the right fit. People might not see what Antonio Martial does for Manchester United in terms of movement, in terms of creativities, in terms of drawing away opponents. But strict, or should I say, people that have better understanding of the game would see it. I know these kind of allegations were laid at the feet of Benzema when Ronaldo was still at Real Madrid. Ronaldo was scoring the goals, and people keep questioning Benzema that Benzema is not doing enough. At a point, even also Mourinho questioned Benzema that if now that I don't have a dog to fish, I'll go with the cat. So these kind of things happen sometimes. But my question to you, Shay, is: will Weghorst or Vincent Abubakar be a good fix for United for 6 months, or they'll turn out to be another Audio Igalo that we know what he can do, but the coach decided not to trust him enough?
I think what I see from even getting the likes of Weghorst and Abubakar linked to Manchester United is the lack of quality players in it. I think that's the problem that United is facing at the moment, especially quality strikers. Don't let me generalize state players. They are players, but what Manchester United need at the moment is a strike. For me, I think it's just going to be another wrong decision if they decide to go for any of the. It's a dicey situation for Manchester United right now. But to be sincere, with the vein of form that Rashford seemed to display at the moment, I'd rather play Rashford down the middle, bring back the young English guy, Jadon Sancho.
Yeah.
Left, and of course, you still have the likes of Anthony and Garnacho to run the wings. Martial is still there and start when it's not working. You can get him off and play Rashford through the middle. I have seen Rashford with a little bit of ability to really strike within the middle, even though he prefers to come from the left. But I think the two strikers we just mentioned my issue with those strikers actually is for them not to keep another Lukaku that holds the ball, break the play. The prowess of that Manchester United team is the pace in the attack. If you throw in a striker that breaks the play, that holds the ball unnecessarily, it's become another issue. So I'm really worried about the aspect of the attack. So for me, I think it's better for United to just maybe be patient, get the perfect striker, fit into the type of game that the coach wants to play.
Shay, question for you. Let me cut you short. Question for you: who is that perfect striker now in the market? Forget the names that are being touted. Who, in your opinion, is perfect? United lost out on Cody Gakpo, who I don't know why, but who, in your opinion, should United look at, laser focus, and try and sign to fill that role?
I think, like I said, at the moment, lack of contract. But that being said, I still believe, even looking inwards into the Premier League, that can still be that can still work for United. Ivan Tony at the moment probably injured and also facing maybe a potential what's it called, investigation, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, as regards gambling and all that.
Yeah.
That's a potential good striker that can give you probably 15 goals.
This
You know,
season.
whatever
Okay.
match.
But
Uh,
I also agree that but I also need to say if United goes for Ivan Tony, miraculously all allegations and charges will be dropped.
Also, Kachi, just to add to this, the young man, the young Nigerian doing well in Napoli, is another striker that will not hold the play. So I think it,
but
it
getting that guy will cost United the ridiculous amount of money. That guy,
100
that
million
guy,
is a
that guy
100 million
cannot.
striker
Yeah,
based on
that
the
guy cannot.
inflation rate. Based on the
Exactly.
inflation rate right now, is a 100 million
hold
striker.
strikers in Europe, so it's worth it. And for me, like I said, a striker that will not hold the play, because what I can see from the United attack is pace, 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 and
Yeah,
power.
yeah,
Any
yeah.
striker that is going to break the play will not work. That's just it for me.
Okay. All right. All right.
All
I
right.
actually, I think about it. If I want to add, I think about it. I think those two names, and those are very very shrewd answers, Shay. I think one of your major credit traits is being able to and be calm and answer me correctly while I put you under pressure, such as this. So I couldn't think of those two names, both within the league and outside, but in Victor Osimhen and Ivan Tony, I think United, if they go for either of them, would be in a better position. Totally spot on, really spot on.
All right. Perfect. Thank you very much for that. Anyways, last time United lost was against Manchester City. They're going to be playing Manchester City pretty soon as well. But we've um, we've imbibed the culture of coming out to criticize coaches. They are not doing well enough. They should not be given time. They should sack Graham Potter. He's the worst coach in the history of Chelsea. Um, Eric Ten Hag is the worst coach in the history of Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a PE teacher. You know, Ateta doesn't know what he's doing. Arsene Wenger is the worst in the history of the world. You know, we just come out to criticize these people as we think fit. You know, and sit down on our benches, on our chairs to talk about these people. But when they do something nice, we forget it and we are making it appear as if it's a norm, right? Currently, I think ATH has 82% or so in terms of his record right now. Even Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta in their first number of games that ETH has played are just 56% win ratio. That just goes to show you what he's building right now. The way he's putting in the man management, the tactical approach, the way he changes game from the bench, it reads the game so well. And I can tell you basically the only game that Arsenal has lost this season it was because of ETH. The way he played the game from the bench, he won the game from the bench. Clearly, at least on that day, he's more cerebral than Arteta. For anybody that cares to listen, I'm forgiving Mikel Arteta after Arsene Wenger came back to. It's not like my forgiveness means anything. I know Kachi is like, here we go again, but I still have to put it out there because I'm one of his worst critics. And like I said, when someone is not doing well, we criticize them. But what I've learned is when they do well, try to applaud them as well. And I'm pretty sure that day I tagged Sheyi and Kachi and say, yo, see, my stand about Mikel Arteta has finally changed for life. But back to ETH, ETH has done pretty well. He has done pretty well. Kachi, what should we think of this guy in terms of longevity, in terms of what? Because he has just started his work. this is just we're just seeing like we're not even seeing phase one of his work. This is just
Mm-hmm.
a gloss.
Mm-hmm.
He does not even have the player that he wants. I think the only player that he bought that is actually two players that he bought that are actually his own transfer are Martinez and the ball juggler, Anthony. Casemiro was just a guy that was available. Talks came up and they bought Casemiro. Casemiro was not a signing. He wanted VDG, Frankie de Jong. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So I feel this is just a gloss. How well in terms of longevity and what should we expect? And for me and my household, I'm touting Manchester United to challenge for the trophy, to challenge for the EPL this season if they continue this upward trajectory. For
Mm-hmm.
me, I stand to be corrected. I don't know what you think.
Uh, the season might be probably lost. I think challenging for a top four will probably be a more realistic target to set. If they finish in the top four, with all the upheaval and the drama pre-World Cup that has already taken place, I think ETH should see, and by and not just ETH, the general United fan base should see this season as a success. What I really like is the fact that he has been consistent with his disciplinary measures. It goes to show that whatever he was doing with Ronaldo was not personal, especially because he replicated the same with Rashford. I guess the only thing that made it slightly different from Ronaldo's own was he was willing to let Ronaldo continue to suffer the result of whatever issues he had, while Rashford was forgiven and brought in to salvage a win in the same game he was dropped to the bench.
Mm-hmm.
There's He now has players who seem to buy into what he's saying because they now know that if they run afoul of his law or of his policies, they go chop bench, like we largely say in Nigerian parlance. So his word is law right now, and we're beginning to see it. Um, they're consistent. Yes, the tougher challenges are ahead. I think they face City pretty soon. Not exactly sure, but I think there are tougher
Yeah,
challenges ahead.
yeah, they're playing
They,
Phoenix very soon. I
yeah,
think in the next two games.
yeah. But I like what I see. Yes, it's still a lot to be done tactic wise because sometimes I still ask myself, can I really see what ETH's tactics are? I see the discipline. I see the fact that players want to listen, but it still looks like he's missing one or two people in his image and likeness who will do exactly what he wants them to do. And not just attacker, maybe one attacker and one central midfielder. I don't think what's the name of the guy that was resurrected from the dead? Christian Eriksen is a long-term solution.
Yeah.
For all the goodwill he currently enjoys, I don't think it's a long-term solution to the creative challenges United is facing right now in the middle. But I like what I see. The fact that the team is disciplined, the team knows that their coach is the law. The fact that the ownership also are letting him coach. For the first time in a long time, we're not hearing so much noise about the Glazers. And maybe it's just me. But why is it that we only hear about the Glazers from these United fans when United is struggling? But
Of
when they
course.
are doing well, they don't mind the Glazers paying themselves £20 million in dividend as long as United. So United fans, I'm looking at you, starting from you, Sheyi. But that's just on a lighter note. But I do like what I'm saying from ETH. I like the fact that he's consistent in his principles and policies. But another thing I'm beginning to like is that gradually, just like Arteta was given time by management, it looks like the United management have told ETH, for just cancel out the noise. Anything you are hearing, any rumor about your job being in jeopardy, or forget it.
Forget about it.
You have the full support of the ownership, and that is something that Graham Potter needs as well. Arteta got it. We're beginning to see the results in year two. ETH got it at the early stage of his tumultuous career, we are beginning to see some stability now, and that stability is doing United a world of good.
All right, perfect. Sheyi, I'm gonna come to you now, and I'm gonna be sharing my screen, showing you these guys, and I want you to rate these guys. Can you see it? Can you see the guys? Alison Baker,
Yeah.
Ederson, Aaron Ramsdale, David De Gea. Accordingly, because this are probably the four best goalkeepers in the Premier League right now. I could argue for Pope,
Yeah.
but at least from the top conventional top
Why
six,
is Kepa not there, please?
Kepa is not a keeper.
Okay, Debo, for
Yeah.
this season or all round,
Just
all
for
round,
this season. Just for this season. Yeah.
okay, that's really pretty straightforward for this season. For my number for fourth, for me, I'll put Ederson. Ederson has probably faced lesser, let me say, lesser,
Obstacles.
Yeah. Shorts. Yeah.
less shots, and that has always been. And for that reason, I'll just put in my fourth.
Okay.
I think third, I will put Ramsdale.
Okay.
Ramsdale, if we're actually doing this for last season, I'll probably have Ramsdale on probably second. But for this season, I think Arsenal defense really stood up to some really good, runs.
Okay.
Runs this season. They're actually the second best defense in the league.
In the league.
Actually, because of the defense, not because of goalkeeper. So for me, I thought resurgence of David De Gea this season will probably put him in
number two.
Number two.
And yeah, number two.
Oh wow.
And for me, number one is Alisson Becker. Alisson Becker, let me say, Liverpool's defense has been the worst defense this season. They conceded too many chances. That's uncharacteristic of Liverpool defense that used to be solid rock.
Solid, yeah.
Without Becker saves this season, I think they will probably be languishing in the bottom half.
Okay. All right, perfect. I don't agree with you, but catch it.
It's a very tough one. I sincerely think I was going to put De Gea first, but over the last few days between Alisson and De Gea, they've both had some gaps.
Mighty say, okay.
No, they both have some gaps. De Gea having that little gap. I can't remember who they played very recently.
I guess Everton.
Was it Everton? Yes.
Yeah.
And then Alisson, obviously, in the FA Cup over the weekend, and whatever it was he thought he was doing there. But by and large, if we look at it based on the quality of opposition, number of clear-cut chances faced, those two obviously would be 1 and 2, and you can switch them. It can be Alisson, De Gea. It can be De Gea, Alisson. I do also think that Ramsdale is a clear third. Yes, the defense has improved a lot, but he still also faced some, because it's not as if that defense is as world class as the Manchester City defensive forefront is. So Arsenal has also given opponents chances to score. A case in point to be the near mishap they had against Brighton and Hove. We thought that game was dead and buried, and then from nowhere it became 4-2, almost became 4-3, if not for VAR. So because of that, in spite of Ramsdale, they've held up. However, Ramsdale has also gotten them, I'll probably say maybe 3 extra points from his saves. The fourth would be definitely Ederson. because this guy, number one, doesn't face a lot of clear cut chances. Most of the XG, which is the expected goals for opponents playing against City, they
Yeah.
always have less than one XG. So that means every team that they face have been expected to score less than one
One
goal
goal.
against Manchester City. Even with that XG, City has lost, I think, 3 games already. They've dropped points. So that tells me that City is winning in spite of Ederson, not because of Ederson. And that puts him in the fourth position. But special mention to Pope. I think Pope has also done well.
Yeah.
I would actually put Pope fourth and
Out
Ederson
of
fifth.
Ederson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only one I disagree with you guys with Shea, because you sat on the fence. You said they
Yes,
hear
I sat
Allison
on
to
the
be
fence
one
for
or
one
two.
and two. Yes.
But Shea actually stick out his neck to say Allison. I think the kind of save that they have done so far this season, I'll put the head number one ahead of Allison. Then of course Ramsey number three and Edison number four. Anyways, that's just about it for that. It's just a new thing that we're going to be doing right now, making comparison like this from time to time, drop engagements from that as well. And of course, I know someone told me I'm a Mayu fan. I'm not a Mayu fan. Uh, just so you know, I'm a Leeds United fan. But I want to talk about the club that wants to compete, win the title, and I'm going to put up on the screen the three corporates or the three guys that they are looking forward to getting in this January transfer window, and I'll feel your pulses, guys. Kachi, I'm going to start with you. First that you see on your screen there is Danilo. Second one is Modric, and of course the last one is Joao Felix.
Yes.
Joao Felix has been further discussed today with Arsenal. Mandatory £70 million by over the summer. They've reduced their loan fee to £6 million from the 13.5 million they were requesting as of last week. That goes to show like a little bit of change of events in that. Modric, unfortunately, Shakhtar Donetsk insistent on the fact that they want the same amount of money that United paid for the juggler. And when I say the juggler, I mean Anthony. I don't see that guy as a good footballer. I'm sorry to say. I rooted for him personally, but he has disappointed me so far. I hope he comes good anyways. They want the same amount of money, 88 million pounds they are requesting, which I feel is a little bit ridiculous for someone coming from Ukraine. But we know Shakhtar does big businesses. Danilo on his own side, Danilo's contract should be expiring at Palmeiras in the summer. So this could be a pretty straightforward one for Arsenal. Arsenal, don't forget, have been on the neck of Yuri Telemas. Yuri Telemas has the best number of tackles in the EPL among outside the top six. That's just goes to show you. And he has a lot of creativities and passes as well outside the top six. And don't forget, his team is probably languishing on 13th or 14th position, if I'm not mistaken. So Danilo is a 21-year-old guy, young compared to Telemans. Telemans is going to come for free in the summer, or probably pay £5 million for him in the winter. Modric, 88 million. I think is a little bit too much. Arsenal are trying to get this guy for 65 million, if I'm not mistaken. They've had the first bid rejected. They've gone with the second bid. We don't know the stand of the second bid as of right now that I'm talking to you. Joao Felix discussion is coming up. Kachi, okay, let me start with Shay. Shay, what's your assertion or what's your own view about these three transfers? And do you think Arsenal really do need these three transfers in the winter?
Really, very fantastic lineups, and the three transfer for me, I think they can do with two actually. Danilo's transfer might be pushed to maybe
With
summer,
summer.
because I don't think is actually lacking in that role at the moment. Even though they need more bodies, we understand that. But at the moment, I think with Gabriel Jesus' injury, I don't know if you know when he's coming back.
He's out for 3 months,
For
so
3 months, so February.
probably be back late February.
Imagine. So obviously, I think your Felix is one of the key signings for Arsenal this winter. That is key for them because if Nketiah gets injured right now, Arsenal is in big.
Yeah, 100%.
I think Modric also another key signing for us because if you don't do it now, you probably have a lot of other,
For summer.
England and even out of England probably coming to the table and pushing the price up. And I feeling that is what Shakhtar is trying to do.
Yeah, they're trying to start a big war for that.
To push the price up. Get Chelsea to be interested, Newcastle to be interested and all that. So I believe that is what is going on. For me, I think those two signings are key for us. They need to really put pen to paper for those two.
Two.
That can probably be done summer or sign now and loan it back to
Palmeiras.
And then they can get him. You mentioned Telemann.
Yeah.
Telemann. In fact, it's still a shocker that Telemann still plays for Leicester, if you ask me. Telemann has been touted for Arsenal, for Manchester United, for Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think right now, this is the time for him to move. Otherwise, he might not really have that leverage again. So probably summer is going to go for free to maybe one of the top 6
teams. Okay. Kachi, what about you? What do you think about these 3 guys? Who should be paramount for Arsenal?
Without a doubt, they need another body up front. That makes João Felix's potential loan deal, especially at the amount it currently is on, a bit more viable. Yuri Stilleman is not that old. He's just 25, so don't make him look like an old man. However, I think, you made him sound like, Danilo is just 21.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Stilleman he's not an old man. Yes, he has a lot of mileage on him, but he's played in a very good Belgian team. So most of the mileage is at the club side. And even at that, it wasn't as if they were playing in Europe for so long or at the latter parts of competitions in Europe. I say that to say, as much as he will be good, I am still not totally sold, except for depth purposes, because we know Thomas Partey can get injured and will get injured. And the other thing is that Granit Xhaka is also not as young as he used to be, so he can alternate, because that's one of the strengths Tielemans has. He can play that Partey role, he can play the Xhaka role. So those are two, because of the amount involved. Those are probably the 2 deals I will go for right now. I'm a little bit skeptical about Modric because, number one, he's unproven elsewhere. Secondly, I asked myself, what is the value of Kvaratskhelia or whatever his name is? That Georgian Napoli genius, right now. Are you saying that Modric is a more expensive purchase or a more expensive buy than that Georgian Maradona?
They bought Napoli were more sensible. They got him. They scouted him when nobody saw it. Because come think of it, this Modric was being touted for, I think, Leicester City last year for 12 million or 15 million pounds.
Exactly.
But nobody was watching him then until now.
That's why I think
the Champions League.
That's why I think Arsenal should not rush it and let the season play out. I mean, they're out of Europe now. There won't be that much attention on him. Right now, I would say the João Felix and Yuri Stilleman deal is probably something they should try and lock up this winter transfer window and then let's see what will happen at the end of the season.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that, Urokuka. Then of course I'll move to I'm trying to look for their logo right now. For some reason I can't see their logo because it seems they're as bad as their logo right now. But I'm talking about the club that everybody is talking about right now that needs help, and that is Chelsea FC of London, two-time European champions. They practically won everything that it is to win in club football. One of the leading clubs in England right now, expensive. Got that's the problem when you get American involved in football business. Todd Bodley came in. It does not. It's for me. It's directionless. Honestly, and the reason why I said it's directionless is there's a possibility with Sarton was Tuchel, and you allowed Tuchel to spend £170 million on defenders. You allow him to, because it does not make any sense, honestly. And Kachi, I will refer you back to when we did this preseason, and a certain area the came on this show, and it was going on and on about the fact that they don't need someone that will create in the midfield for them, and I was like, what's he talking about? Are we watching the same Chelsea and watching a different Chelsea? Because practically we all knew what Chelsea was yearning for. They needed a spark of creativity. They needed someone that can score for them. Imagine Chelsea has the highest goal scorer right now after 15 or 17 games, as Havertz with 4 goals. The highest assist in their team combined has 3 assists. It's terrible. I think they scored just 17 or 15 goals all season.
That's terrible.
It's terrible.
Another interesting stat is Erling Haaland has more goals than Chelsea as a club.
Can you imagine? I think Haaland has just 20 goals or 21 goals in the league.
Yeah.
It's like, and come think of it, this winter they've gone ahead to buy another defender.
I have to ask, and I'm probably just a quick research I need to do, who the current sporting director is for Chelsea.
I think they just got one sporting director because they were looking all across Europe for a sporting director. They eventually got one. Let me see what his name is. But go ahead, please.
Yeah, the signings. What I'm seeing is just a clear case of an American investor who doesn't understand soccer coming in to invest in soccer and not leaving the business for the brains behind it to do. It's so hard to dissect Chelsea right now because where do we start? And I think that's really the biggest challenge.
Okay, the guy's name is Christopher Vivel. Go ahead.
Vivel, okay. I don't know what his pedigree is in European football. However, Chelsea has to tell themselves the honest, like just be really honest with themselves. Let's navigate this season with what we have and use 8 to 10 weeks between the end of the season and the start of the new season to come up with a new strategy. Right now, what they are signing or who they are signing is purely reactionary, simply because Koulibaly has not worked. Koulibaly was brought into a faster league at an old age. It's rare to see an English club buy a defender who is already over 30, and I'm not sure why they did that. It was suited for Italy because the pace in Italy obviously is slower than usual. And we saw
to pay Thiago Silva of 38 years old.
Yeah, Thiago Silva.
As in, he came to pay
a 38-year-old man
yeah.
who is like a Rolls Royce on a very smooth road. The Rolls Royce is the king of cars, elegant, cruising. But on very bumpy road, you will realize why Rolls Royce is not an everyday car. That is who Thiago Silva is. So right now there is no pace in that defense, central defense. I'm not sure who this guy they bought now, how quickly he's going to dovetail. I understand the reason and it's an American logic. They always tell them defense wins championship. So let's sort out our defense and the attack will figure itself out. But in this case, it is a very wrong logic because they are lacking creativity, but they can't even be creative because the single person who allows them become creative is thinking of going to Al Nassr right now. And that is
What's that?
and that is N'Golo Kante.
Oh,
So there's a lot of that's why I said it's so difficult to pinpoint what the issue is with Chelsea. If it's up to me, I will say, see this season, count it as lost, maintain a sensible finish,
position, yeah.
and then see what you can do at
Give
the end of the season.
give Graham
It's
Potter a
just that
watch list.
Thomas Bowley right now bought Chelsea simply because they told him Chelsea will always compete. Americans like MMM. The reason why 419 thrives in countries like the United States is because most of the United States citizens by
Like the
nature
first one.
are greedy and want the fast-paced money. So even though they tell you, oh, we are investors or whatever, is the
Your
greed
American
of
audience, they will call for you.
they want a good return. I'm Canadian, they can't come for me. They want a good return and they want the return almost immediately. And that's really what is hurting him. That's why he's making all these knee-jerk reactions. I think there's a fundamental issue wrong. And throwing money at it will not be the solution to the problem. Right now, I can count 11 first-team Chelsea players that are sitting on the injury bench. What is happening? Why are they getting injured? What is it that the turf they are using in Cobhams that they need to look at? Is it the quality of the physiotherapy they have? What exactly is making a player like Reece James miss the World Cup and in his very first game back is going back to meet his girlfriend at the clinic? So a lot of things are wrong with Chelsea. I don't think throwing money at it will solve it. I think they should keep what they have, survive this season, and then the inquest can start. Because if you try to do it mid-season, it's just going to get worse.
Yeah, and Christopher Velvet, Christopher is from our Let's Big. Yeah, I don't know what you think about Chelsea before we sign out today.
Yeah, I think a lot is wrong with Chelsea. But for me, I think one of the fundamentals is even Graham Potter finding it hard to set up his
team.
Because I think there's a lot to do with coaches when they come into a new club with new set of players and they struggle to play to the strengths of what they have. I think that is the present issue. There are some other connected issues. In fact, Achi just added something that I've not been thinking about the injuries popping up in James, was unable to World Cup, came back, first match, got injured again. And if you ask me, that there's something the physicians are not doing right, or the medical team, generally. So those are smaller issues
that needs to be fixed as well.
I think the major issue is Graham Potter finding it hard to play his first team. I think that is what he needs to get back. If he needs to sit down his umbrella, sit him down. I know injuries are also, don't let us forget about injuries to almost 10 keepers, actually. But even before then, Potter was changing his team every
year. Yes. I don't think he started the same 11 since he became head coach.
No.
So that's the problem. He has not been able to say, okay, this is my team and I need to force them to play this way to achieve goal. Probably maybe naive, I don't know. But that is the major problem. He needs to sit down, get a set of players, the set or a particular way he wants to play, achieve that for this season and move on. I want to, before I just close this, I want to make a reference to Eddie Howe of Newcastle. Mm-hmm. When he started, if you recall, he signed players that are actually different from the Eddie Howe that we know.
Style, yeah.
That is signing the likes of Chris Wood, Trippier, and the likes.
Yeah.
He had to do that because he needs to play to the strength of what,
He met on ground.
and look at what he's doing. So I believe the same thing should go for Graham Potter. Forget about Brighton right now. Play according to the,
To the philosophy that he meant on ground.
create a wrong with it. Then next season you can start changing.
Okay. All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Eyi. That's why I always miss you when you're not on the show. I like the way you always bring that finesse to everything. Kachi, thank you very much as well. Kachi, since I want to ascertain your oracleness or not. Manchester United versus Manchester City. Who is gonna win?
Come on. Uh,
I needed to put you on the spot. You know I love that.
to be honest, I like a Cinderella story. I've always loved a Cinderella story. I mean, I'm a guy, yes, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I'm a guy, but I like the underdog story. Maybe not Cinderella. And the truth is, I remember saying the reason why I don't have a favorite club in La Liga is because I don't like seeing one of those two teams dominate for years. So if Real Madrid is over dominating, I start supporting Barcelona. If Barcelona is over dominating, I start supporting Real. So right now, based on that, City has over dominated. I think we need a new Premier League winner. Arsenal has looked good for their money. And I remember saying the reason why Arsenal will compete to the tail end of the season is not because they will play better than their closest competition. It's because their closest competition will drop points. They will hurt themselves more than Arsenal will play better. That being said, my heart will select Manchester United. I want to come to a show and see Sheyi beaming from ear to ear. I want to come to a show and see Olawale ready to analyze how ETH is the next best thing after sliced bread. Based on that, my heart says United, although my head tells me that Erling Haaland cannot be stopped again. So I give it to United, even though I know I will be wrong.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that. I just wanted to put it on the spot. And that's the wrap, and that's the show. Thank you very much for all our viewers, for everybody that supported us, and people that are not supporting us as well. Please support us. We love you. So we need your support as much as we can get. Till we see you again next week. My name is Sidadeja Adebowale, and today I was with Oraku Kachi and, of course, Hiajayi. Bye, guys. Have a wonderful sporting week.